everyone. Welcome to another night with me, Kim, on the Wicked Late Show with me, Kim. So let's talk about what's new in sports, shall we? What has happened in the past 24 hours? What's going on? Well, I want to first talk about what's bad, a little eyesore that's been hanging over all of us here in New England. I'm sure all of you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mr. Aaron Hernandez. I can't really speak for all of you, but I'm going to assume that a good majority of you cannot wait till this is all over and done with. I mean, seriously. It's like kind of like one of those things that you don't want to talk about, but you can't help but talk about. It's just crazy. It still amazes me on so many levels. So what happened today? So Mr. Hernandez was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the July 2012 killings of 2 Boston men. And this is already on top of the fact that he's sitting in jail for the killing of Mr. Odin Lloyd, who was dating the sister of his fiance. I mean, I just have to say this. It amazes me. Here, this guy has the world at his fingertips. Like everything that anybody could ask for. He has talent. He has money. He has girls. He had a girl, but I'm sure he had tons of girls like swooning after him. He had so much. And he threw it all away. Just kind of probably be a show off to his old buddies in the old neighborhood. God only knows what he was thinking, to live the thug life, but he's not living the thug life anymore. He is, a New England Patriot. You do not go to see a New England Patriots game and talk about Aaron Hernandez. It's just something nobody wants to hear about. That's how bad this guy messed up. Like, they took away his jersey, they took away his number. Like, he is just erased from history in, like, all of New England Patriots. Like, that's sad. That's more than sad. It's just a waste. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But, hopefully it'll all be over soon. And, those families, they'll get their justice. And we can all stop talking about this guy. Because, honestly, I think he really likes it that we talk about him. I really do. And I think that he thinks he's going to get away with it. I don't know. So, let's go on to some other news. More importantly, the Red Sox. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. So today the Red Sox played and they lost to the Minnesota Twins, 4-3. So at least it's not as bad as when they played the Texas Rangers. They didn't get their asses completely whooped like before, but they still lost. So, I'm listening to sports radio and all these other people talking about what's going on and, different topics that, are coming about as the season is going on and everything. And this one guy that I listen to in the radio now on my way home from work brought up a good topic about how the Red Sox are not a stealing base kind of team. They are a hitting and a walking kind of team. It's just not their forte. They do not steal bases. And so I'm like, I wonder if he's right. I wonder what they are in comparison to other teams and how really that changes things. So I come home and I start looking at stats. And sure enough, he's right. The Red Sox, the most that anybody has stolen a base so far this season is 3 times. And that's Mr. Jackie Bradley Jr. And he's only 24 years old. I'm assuming that, you know, the younger they are, the more they don't care, the riskier they are. They're like, woohoo! Dive! But, you know, our team is a little different. We have some older players, not that that matters. We still have some great players, Mr. David Ortiz. You know, he is that type of hitter that, you know, you just don't give up. But still, a majority of the players, like, you start looking at the stats and you go all the way down the row, it's like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Like, nobody's stealing bases in our team. Nobody. I think there's 3 people who have even attempted to steal a base so far this season, which is kind of scary. But then if you compare them to, let's say, the Texas Rangers, who whooped our butt last week, they have a pretty decent amount of players that are stealing bases. 3 of which are stealing an insane amount of bases in comparison to ours. They have the top player, Elvis Andrus. I kind of like that name. 26 years old, who has already stolen 11 bases so far this season. And next runner-up is, let's see, Lanos, I don't know how to pronounce that first name, Martin, also 26 years old, who has stolen 9 bases so far. And then there is Alex Rios. Oh, we know him because he caused that whole problem with the ball last week, who has stolen 7 bases so far this season. He is surprisingly 33 years old. So age, I guess, is so much not a factor. So really, does this come into play as to how, you know, either one of these teams may or may not do this season? Well, let's see. Both of these teams are like 50-50 so far, as far as like winning and losing games. Boston has 120 and lost 20. Texas has 120 and lost 21. But what's interesting, and this is another thing I heard on the radio, which made me want to go on and check and see if the guy was right, and sure enough he was, is pretty much everybody in the league sucks so far this season. Like, everybody's just like, oh, well, you know, I guess I'm just going to go to the games and play, you know? Like, nobody's really like, yeah, you know, as they're playing. Like, everybody is like at a 50-50 kind of split so far, as far as winning and losing average for their games. Nobody is really gung-ho so far. But the thing is I suppose that's not uncommon because it's early on. You have to think that this isn't like the Patriots, where they only have like a small amount of games and they have to really concentrate and play hard and go hard every single game, and every game counts. It's different in baseball because there's a lot more games. So, you know, I guess if they want to slack off a little bit the first part of the season, I suppose they can get away with that. Although I'm still very interested in the fact that, you know, we are not a stealing base kind of team. Supposedly, you know, there's talk of us maybe working on that. But the thing is we're so not that kind of team. How can we focus on something that we're not when, you know, we have other things that we're so good at and we really should work on offensively? So, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out because the dynamic of our team is totally different than other teams. And it's just been that way. But it's baseball. You should steal a base a little more often, my Red Sox. You know, don't turn into the Yankees and be afraid to get your uniforms all dirty because we know you're not pretty boys. you've never been pretty boys, so don't turn into them now, because I'm not going to like that. I think we're going to have conversations if you know, you go and you play an entire game and you don't get your uniform dirty. There's just something wrong with that. I'm just saying. All right, listen, that's all I have tonight for the Wicked Wicked Late Show. I wish I had more, but I don't have more, and I don't have more time, you know, but there's so much you could talk about in baseball, and in sports, and everything else in between, but that's it. That's it. That's all I have to talk about, okay? So you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll be back soon. I love you all. Mwah. All right, see you later. Bye.